evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's regularly scheduled City Council meeting and tonight's special meeting of the City Council and the Economic Development Commission immediately following the City Council meeting. Tonight we have a full house, save for Alderman Cummings, who is traveling. So if I could kindly ask our city clerk to please take the roll.
Mike Bruno.
Here.
Tara Burkhardt.
Here.
Don Cummings. Dean Kilberg.
Here.
Craig Maladra.
Here.
Richard Marks.
Here.
Jim Radecki.
Here.
Mary Sino.
Here.
Tom Simonian.
Here.
Ron Singer.
Here.
We begin our City Council meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. I see my good friend Mike Slifka here. Is Mr. Collins present this evening? My eyes are shut, so I apologize. Mr. Collins and Mr. Slifka, would you kindly lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. If the council does not object, I'd like to just rearrange slightly the order of business under item 3. I'd like to begin with the appointments for consideration, as I know Mr. Collins has another appointment this evening he needs to sneak out to. So on item 3B, I'd like to ask for a motion to consider the mayor's appointment of Michael Slifka to the Plan Commission.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Singer, seconded by Sino. Mr. Slifka is with us this evening. Mike, do you want to join us at the podium ever so briefly? The City Council received your credentials. You and I had the opportunity to visit. I think all of you would attest to the fact that Mr. Slifka's credentials are indeed impressive. His service on the Strategic Plan Advisory Committee, of course, is an added bonus. Becomes highly regarded, and we're delighted to offer you the nomination. Do you want to say anything?
No, I just think it's a great opportunity to hopefully use some of my experience and background to help the city going forward.
Excellent.
And I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. And there's really nothing coming up anyway, so it's like, it should be boring. Any comments from the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Singer.
Michael's darling wife is here. I'd like to have him introduce her as well.
That's up to Mr. Slifka. Now,
Wife, Julie.
hi, Julie, how are you? Welcome. Way to go, Ron.
Thank you.
We have a motion. We have a second. A voice vote is sufficient. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Welcome aboard, sir. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Item 3C is to consider mayor's appointment to the Historic Preservation Commission of Mr. Steve Collins. Mr. Collins is with us this evening as well. Come on up, Steve. The City Council received my correspondence over the weekend, and I do appreciate allowing me that extra opportunity to reach out. Mr. Collins as well comes with an extensive background. Steve and I have known each other for quite a while. His professional work experience is broad. His passion for communities really throughout northern Illinois and quite frankly the country in terms of your professional work. Steve's been a longtime resident of Geneva and I think very much expresses the passion for this community and I think will provide some extraordinary insight to the commission, so thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I look forward to working with the commission and to continue to make Geneva one of the great places to live.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the council? Be careful driving when you leave here, too. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? No, we don't. Ooh.
Second.
Kilburn makes the motion. Marks makes the second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Steve.
Careful on your journey tonight.
I will.
Yes, sir.
I know that there were a number of candidates that submitted applications, and I know the council had an opportunity to review those over the last 4 or 5 days. And I want to thank all those that expressed an interest in serving the community, and I'm sure that it was a difficult choice for the mayor to make, and hopefully they would consider other opportunities that the city might have in the future.
Absolutely. Well said. And for the benefit of the council and the community as well, these decisions are made not exclusively by me, but also with consultation by the respective chairmen of those commissions and/or committees, and of course with the consent of the council. So we're grateful to all of you. And You're right, Dean. The hardest part of the job is to have to determine exactly whom to choose when you have such great candidates. So Alderman Bruno.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Out of curiosity, does this, once we make the next, or after these appointments, do we have any open seats on boards or commissions?
There's one on spec.
There's one on the Strategic Plan Advisory Commission, and as you may know,
Oh.
that is filled by the committee with the recommendation of whom to fill it with that comes to us for approval.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Moving on to item 3A. 3A is to, ooh, this is exciting. It's a $20 million check presentation to Geneva Cultural Arts Commission by Bethlehem Brass. Wow. Carolyn Hill's with us this evening. How are you?
I'm good.
Is Sam tuning in?
Yes, he is. I hope so. Either that or he's asleep by now. We watch you every Monday night. You know, it's hard to break an old habit, and for 12 years, I watched every night that Sam was here to make sure he didn't screw up. Sorry about that, dear.
Well, if there's any consolation, he slept here too, so.
Yeah, so we have continued to watch with great interest, and obviously you're all doing a great job, so. I'm here to share with you some good news and to publicly announce the gift of $2,500 that the Geneva Cultural Arts Commission received following our Steeple Walk event on December 6th, Sunday afternoon. Before I introduce Mr. Frank Hemmelman of the Bethlehem Brass, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Steeple Walk event, which began in 2004, and it was sponsored at that time by the Geneva Forum for the Arts and Education. But when the forum dissolved, then the GCAC revived that tradition in 2009. And it's become a very popular event with a diverse lineup of musicians performing at the city's historic churches, downtown churches. It's a 2-hour afternoon event of music. The most recent event featured performances of the Elgin Symphony Duet, consisting of a flutist and cellist, performing at the Christian Science Church. The Women's Choir Fusion performed at the Unitarian Church, and the featured performance at the Methodist Church was the Marimba Ensemble from Holy Cross Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish in Chicago. They were terrific. And at the Lutheran Church was a wonderful performance by the Bethlehem Brass, a Fox Valley quintet. Approximately 240 people attended the popular event, but because of limited seating at 2 of the churches, we have to take the 240 attendees and split them into 2 groups, so that each group would hear a 20-minute concert at each of the 4 churches. So feedback from this event went something like this. This was the best concert yet. This year's concert was one of the best, and finally, all of the performers were exceptional. So it's a wonderful event. Look for it next year. The performers are paid for from the funds from the Cultural Arts Commission, what we receive from our only fundraiser, Eat Your Art Out, which replaced Dancing with the Stars. And this grant was recently received. It is immensely appreciated as the monies support our mission to create diverse cultural experiences that engage our community. At this time, I'd like to introduce Frank Hemmelman, who is a member of the Bethlehem Brass. The group is sponsored by the National Mutual Benefit, but I will let Frank tell you a little bit more how this generous charitable donation came about. And I was surprised when I arrived here this evening. We have several members of the Bethlehem Brass, but unfortunately, or fortunately, they left their instruments at home. So I welcome Frank, and tell this austere group about your group
Thank you.
and the gift.
It's a pleasure being here, and
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
I appreciate your taking your time, and I'm beholden to all of you for the few minutes that we can share with you. The people that I've brought with me, come on up, guys, and we brought two members of the brass, the president of the branch, and two ladies. The lady here in the front corner is Audra. Stand up. Let me introduce you also. This is Audra Carlson. She's the admin at the Oswego office of National Mutual Benefit.
Welcome.
And in the back is my wife, because we're going to make a check presentation. I'm going to let Dick have the check and bring it up to Mayor Burns, if that'd be okay.
Sure, I'll come to you.
That'd be, well, whatever.
Anytime there's
but,
money, we race to you.
But we do have actually, the original check is probably cashed already.
Is that right? Is that-
But this one is a little bit more, while he's making his way up here, let me introduce the men who are with me, and starting with the president of the branch, this is Benga Okatona. Benga is a pastor in Bolingbrook and doesn't play anything, I don't think. Dick Hughesby here is a trumpet player along with me, and Bill Lawless. Some of you may know because your children may have had him at Geneva North. South, sorry. Ooh, ouch. So I might also add that Bill started playing with us when one of our original members, Dick and I are two of the original of the Bethlehem Brass. One of the other ones was a man named Neil Olson, who I see some heads nodding. And when he was no longer able to play trombone, I asked Bill if he was interested in joining us, and he was and did. And that's been over 20 years ago, I think, now. So altogether, the brass has been playing for over 31 years. We started in 1985 as a brass quartet at Bethlehem Lutheran Church, and one of the men figured out there was a way that we could raise money for charity through his insurance company. He worked for a company in Downers Grove, and we've been doing it ever since, 31 years now. We've been able to raise over $300,000 for charities. Thank you. I asked the company to send me some information on what National Mutual does, and they're a fraternal insurance company or insurance and investment company, much like Thrivent, if you're not familiar with the fraternals. But they offer matching grants, community grants, and so forth. This year, they've contributed over $325,000 in grants to communities and groups like yours and like the Cultural Arts Commission. So we're happy to be here. I made some notes so I wouldn't ramble on, and I'm starting to ramble on. So, I know, the other things that we've contributed to, we've helped Hesed House, which some of you may be familiar with, Lazarus House up in St. Charles. We've made contributions to the Fox Valley Concert Band, the Rising Star Theater, Kendall County Food Pantry, things like that. So those are the organizations that we help. They all have to be charitable or community organizations like you have here. So without further ado, let's give Mayor Burns his...
This guy over here has one of the most advanced cameras of all time. Why don't you come in front of the podium so you don't...
Okay.
I think he's doing
Trying to get the grades changed.
Got it? Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you again, folks. It's a good way to kick off the meeting, isn't it? Item 4, amendments to the agenda. I know we have one amendment. Alderman Bruno?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add an item. I'd like to add an item to go into closed session concerning the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of employees.
So the motion is to amend item 14 to include that language.
Yes.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? A roll call vote is in order. Mr. Clerk?
Dean Kilburg.
Aye.
Maladra.
Aye.
Richard Marks.
Aye.
Jim Radecki.
Aye.
Mary Sino.
Aye.
Tom Simonian.
Aye.
Ron Singer.
Aye.
Mike Bruno.
Aye.
Tara Burkhardt.
Aye.
The motion passes 9-0. Item number 5 on the agenda is the omnibus agenda. All items are considered to be routine by this council and can be considered with one motion.
So moved.
Motion by Bruno.
Second.
Seconded by Sino. Any questions or comments? Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Dean Kilburg.
Aye.
Fred Maladra.
Aye.
Richard Marks.
Aye.
Jim Radecki.
Aye.
Mary Sino.
Aye.
Tom Simonian.
Aye.
Ron Singer.
Aye.
Mike Bruno.
Aye.
Tara Burkhardt.
Aye.
Item 5 passes unanimously. Should say 9-0. Item number 10, municipal bills for payment. We kindly ask our clerk to read the bills for our consideration.
Bills for payment total $3,082,707.17.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve and pay the bills as read. The individual items that add up to that amount can be found in tonight's packet on the city website.
Alderman Bruno makes the motion to pay the
Second.
bills as presented, seconded by Alderman Marks. Any questions or comments? Notice the sleight of hand by the city attorneys switching seats. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Dean Kilburg.
Aye.
Greg Maladra.
Aye.
Richard Marks.
Aye.
Jim Radecki.
Aye.
Mary Sino.
Aye.
Tom Simonian.
Aye.
Ron Singer.
Aye.
Mike Bruno.
Aye.
Tara Burkhardt.
Aye.
Motion passes, 9 affirmative votes, no nays, 1 absent. Committee of the Whole items of business, item 11A is to recommend approval of ordinance amending the Pepper Valley Planned Unit Development to allow sit-down drive-through restaurants as a special use.
So move. Second.
Motion by Singer, seconded by Marks.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Mr. Mayor, would you be kind enough to explain, not only to the council, but to the members present, as to the manner in which this vote should be brought forth, as whether a yes vote would mean exactly what you feel it should, as opposed to a negative vote? Explaining that to us?
Yes, in fact, I'm going to turn to my trusty city attorney, because he's here to also express some comments regarding this matter as well.
Yes,
So if you don't object, Alderman, I'll defer to
I
Mr.
agree.
Finson. Okay.
Okay. Well, first of all, not to complicate things any more than I did last week. Last week, you may recall that during the course of the conversation and discussion, Cynthia, and I forgot your last name, Albright, submitted a set of petitions to the council. And there is a provision in the city code that's referenced, there's a provision in the city code that references the municipal code that provides that if a written protest against a proposed amendment is submitted and certain requirements are met, that alters the vote that's required from a simple majority to 2/3 of the aldermen then holding office. Tonight, I asked Ms. Albright if she had, in fact, one of the requirements is that it has to be sent, a copy of that petition has to be sent, or protest, needs to be sent to the petitioner or the petitioner's attorney, if any. I asked if that was done. It was not done. As a result, it does not meet the requirements for a protest. In addition, there may be other reasons as to why it may not qualify as a protest, but I don't need to reach those issues, since we know, as a matter of fact, that it was not served that way. So as a result of that, the vote that is required to amend the zoning text to include the special use simply requires a simple majority of the aldermen holding office. In terms of what you're voting on and what it means, as I understand the motion, it is for an approval of an ordinance amending the Pepper Valley Planned Unit Development to allow sit-down drive-through restaurants as a special use. So that's the motion. If you vote in favor of that motion, and a majority of the aldermen holding office vote in favor of it, then that text amendment is adopted. If you vote no, then you are voting against that motion, and if we don't get the requisite number of aldermen, then the motion is defeated. One other point I want to make, you'll notice you recall last time that we divided the question so that we could have one vote on the text amendment, which is the first item we're going to vote on, and then a second vote on the special use itself. The protest discussion that I just brought up does not apply to a special use. It would only apply to a text or a map amendment to zoning.
With that said, it's also common practice of this city council, as is most city councils, that motions are made in the affirmative. To support this motion, an aye vote would be necessary. To oppose this motion, a nay vote would be necessary. As a reminder, last week's vote was 9 nay votes, 0 aye votes, and 1 absent.
Thank you for that explanation, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vincent.
Call the question.
Oh,
Really?
the chair has the right to acknowledge that call. I say no. Alderman Simonian.
Thank you, Mayor. Where are you going? My mind is still boggled at the common sense nature of this, that we vote on the PUD first and then the special use second, when in fact the PUD could be passed, but yet the special use could fail, but then we've adopted a PUD in our ordinance, correct? So in theory, this evening, we could vote yes on A, no on B, but we've now changed the PUD. And to me, that just doesn't make sense. I mean, to me, it's backwards. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, because now we have to go back, I would assume, at some point in time, and then reverse that PUD unless we're going to leave it there. I mean, the whole idea of the PUD is because of the special use. I would think that you would lead with the special use, and then if that is of an affirmative, then see if you're willing to change the PUD, because then everything falls in line. And that was my question last week, is why is this, to me, it's backwards. That's just me. I know you said that that's the way it has to be, but
Can we leave that at that answer? That's just you, Alderman Simonian?
that's just me and
You
my,
need to type in here. You need the framework for the special use. The special use is a conditional use. And unless there is the basis in the text of the zoning district for that use and the special conditions that would allow that use, you never get to all of the findings that the Plan Commission needs to make at their public hearing and that the City Council would consider in their legislative capacity in considering the recommendations of the Plan Commission. So it's the foundation, and that's why you have the text amendment first, that it would allow that special use or conditional use to even be considered.
I understand that, but if the PUD was adopted this evening, but the special use was not, I don't think that necessarily that the intent, I would think that we would probably go back and then change the PUD again. So, I mean, to me, it's this way, that way, and then back.
But certainly the recommendation of the committee of the whole did not support either proposition, so.
Right. In
It's
this
sort of an
particular,
academic question.
in this particular incident. So we'll leave it that this is my little circus up in my mind going round and
Well,
round. And so, thank you.
Alderman Radecki.
To Alderman Simonian's point, and I'll approach it from the opposite way. If 11A fails, why would we need to vote on 11B?
Because
The code requires it, but I'll ask Mr. Finson to elaborate.
yeah, the petitioner, there were two petitions that were submitted. One was for the text amendment, and the other was for approval of a special use. If the text amendment failed, and then somebody brings forward the petition, the petition should fail because there's no framework that would permit the special use. Logically, that doesn't mean the council always acts logically, so it's conceivable that they could approve a special use for which there isn't one. But I mean, that's the general idea. So I think that you know, I mean, that's just the way that I would see how it would work. And I guess the other point is that they do have to go separate. Because if you have two different ordinances, one that deals with the text amendment, and it says that once it's submitted to the Plan Commission, then the city council shall consider it. And then you have another ordinance that says, once the request for a special use is submitted, it goes to the Plan Commission, and the city council shall consider it. So they both have to be considered.
Join my ride anytime you want. Got plenty extra seats.
Anyone else on the dais? The point of order was considered. We are comfortable with respect to how to vote. A aye vote is to support the text amendment as written. A nay vote is to oppose it. Mr. City Clerk, please take the roll.
Dean Kilburg,
Nay.
Craig Maladra,
Nay.
Richard Marks.
Nay.
Jim Radecki.
Nay.
Mary Sino.
Nay.
Tom Simonian.
Nay.
Ron Singer.
Nay.
Mike Bruno.
Nay.
Tara Burkhardt.
Nay.
Item 11A fails with a vote of 0 in favor, 9 against, and 1 absent. Item 11B is to recommend approval of ordinance granting a special use to allow a Dunkin' Donuts sit-down drive-through restaurant on the property located at 2401 Caneville Road, Unit 12.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Singer, seconded by Marks. The same theory applies with respect to casting your vote. An aye vote supports the special use, and nay vote opposes the special use. Any questions from the council? From the audience? Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Dean Kilburg,
Nay.
Craig Maladra,
Nay.
Richard Marks.
Nay.
Jim Radecki.
Nay.
Mary Sino.
Nay.
Tom Simonian.
Nay.
Ron Singer.
Nay.
Mike Bruno.
Nay.
Tara Burkhardt.
Nay.
The motion fails, 0 aye votes, 9 nay votes, and 1 absent. According to my scorecard, we jump down to item 13, new business. Anyone from the audience this evening with any new business they'd like to share with the council? Any questions, any comments regarding matters this evening or any matters on your mind? From the dais? Item 14 is the closed session as amended by Alderman Bruno. Is there a second?
Second.
Just for clarification, the closed session concerning the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of employees, and the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body. There is a motion, there is a second.
Who's the second?
The second is by Alderman Marks.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, Mr. Clerk.
Dean Kilburg. Aye. Craig Maladra.
Aye.
Richard Marks.
Aye.
Jim Radecki.
Aye.
Mary Sino.
Aye.
Tom Simonian.
Aye.
Ron Singer.
Aye.
Mike Bruno.
Aye.
Tara Burkhardt.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll be back, God, it shouldn't be more than like 3 hours, but, and there's no action being taken this evening either, so we'll be back momentarily. The cameras will be turned off and the microphones will be turned off.